Hiya, I hope you're keeping well. Today I thought I'd go through a few little tweaks that you can make to your skincare routine as we come into the autumn and winter to keep it feeling really comfortable in the cold weather. Now, I have rosacea, so I'm particularly going to talk about managing symptoms of redness and rosacea, but by all means, a lot of these are things that would be suitable for lots of different skin types because it's really about how you're using what you already have rather than like a big list of product recommendations. Okay, I have started and stopped this video several times because I drive myself mad whenever I come to talk about rosacea because I know the kinds of questions I get whenever I do. So to just kind of cover off a few at the top and then I'll get into sharing a few skincare tips. Number one that I always like to really emphasise is that if you're struggling with your skin in any way, please go and see a doctor because there's so much that they can do to help you. And not only that, but I'm not a doctor, so I love sharing these tips and suggestions, but my Instagram video should not be considered medical attention. You know, a doctor is really the most important person to give you that one-to-one advice. And that's why sometimes I'm not being rude if I get a question about what should I use, what do you think? It's just not my place to answer that because I'm not qualified to give you that answer in the same way that a doctor would be. So that's why I always like you to think of that as your first option because that's where you're going to get the best advice. Then the next thing that will come up is which skincare are you using? Which skincare would you recommend? To be honest, the thing with rosacea is you don't necessarily need like an all singing, all dancing routine. Sometimes a few simple things is going to be really great for you. And lots of the things that are good for rosacea, I might have tried them 10 years ago and they're still great today. So if it's specifically product recommendations that you're looking for, I'm going to put some videos in the description of this video. So if you click the corner, it will make it full screen. The title will come up along the top and then click that arrow. I've gone into lots of detail in the past about products and I think it's important. I know it feels like a really long-winded answer, but for example, you know, there are moisturisers in all different consistencies and textures. You might have rosacea and dry skin, you might have rosacea and oily skin. So those videos are best to do a deep dive and see which one sounds like it's best for you. But anyway, 10 years later, here are going to be some of my favourite autumn skincare tweaks that you can make to your routine. One last caveat and then I promise I'll start talking. Lots of these tips have been passed on to me from doctors or dermatologists, and there are actually a lot of them on Instagram too. There's 3 in particular I think that you'd really like for rosacea advice. Dr. Emma Wedgeworth, who you've seen before on my live videos, Dr. Justine Hextall, who you've seen before on a live, and also Dr. Mary Summerlad, who I haven't done a live with her yet, but we met on a Zoom a while ago. And we were talking about all the same things. I would definitely ask her to get her to come on because she was brilliant. Any of those 3, I think you'd find great advice from. Now, first thing I would say, autumn, even though it's going to be cloudy, dark, miserable, you still have to wear your SPF every single day. As long as we have daylight, the sun is in the sky, and so not only is SPF really important to protect your skin from the sun, first and foremost, but also if you have redness or rosacea, they have all told me that that is one of the single biggest triggers, in particular for flare-ups. So if you're using an SPF every day, you're really going to reduce the risk of that causing a flare-up for you. In terms of SPFs, I know this is really contested and it's a very personal thing. I'm just going to show you 3 that I have used this summer. By all means, I've got other ones in previous videos like I've linked here. First up, Lancaster have made their original best loved formulas with a sensitive skin in mind. Just to mention, I did work with them on the launch of this, so I have been working with them, but that is lovely. It's very silky, it's very hydrating, and it melts in really easily. It's very nice and comfortable under your makeup, and it's completely invisible. One of the ones I used over the summer was the Medik8 Advanced Day Ultimate Protect. Medik8 in general have some great redness solutions. This one was incredibly lightweight, like it honestly dissolved into nothing. I feel like as well this one gave a slightly more velvety finish than other SPFs I've used, so I would recommend that. And then I feel like, is this going to be the right person to say it to? Because we're obviously all looking for these redness remedies. But I used City Block from Clinique a good few times. I hadn't used that before this summer, and it's slightly tinted. So I wouldn't personally use that under your makeup because it's tinted enough that you feel like you've got something on, but it's not full enough that it will cover your redness. So you would have to put concealer or something over the red areas. But if you just want that kind of light tinted moisturiser feel, I thought that was lovely. I actually loved the way my skin looked on that. And there were a few times that if I answered the phone to Laura on FaceTime, she'd be like, have you got that City Block on again? So SPF is so important because it's still there in the winter. And to be honest, if I still haven't convinced you with all of that, because I know my friends are like, that is such a ball ache, I can't believe I've got to do that every day. I'm just going to speak from the place of the conversations I have with my friends. SPF, like I feel like if I meet someone new and they hear I work in beauty and that kind of thing, they're always like, what's the best thing for fine lines? What's the best thing I should be doing? What can I do to keep myself looking and feeling as young and healthy as possible? I feel like if you just start the SPF, you're going to be having conversations about retinols and Botox later than you would have done if you didn't wear your SPF. The next tip, super simple, but it makes such a difference. Get your makeup off the minute you get in the house if you can. If you think about it, we're now going to be in this time where outside is absolutely freezing, inside may well be central heated. Your skin is going through these extremes and that's not, the most comfortable experience for your skin. If you take your makeup off as soon as you get home and get your skincare on, you're adding that hydration to your skin throughout the evening as you're going to be in this warm house. And also you're just giving it that bit longer to work. That's one thing I always think, because literally you'd laugh. I could do a makeup video here at like 10 o'clock in the morning and I'll just take my makeup straight off after that. Like I really love this idea of getting your skincare on when you're in the house, because why would you invest in that skincare if you're just going to throw it on the second you get into bed and half of it's going to be on the pillow anyway? So it's a really good one to just keep on top of. And then also, let's say you did put it on nice and early in the evening. If you got yourself a nice hydrating mist or something, you can be spritzing your skin as the evening goes on and just locking that hydration in. Then one of the best tips that Justine told me is that you want to try, if possible, to put a moisturiser or even a face mask on before you get in the shower. This has been such a great one for me that I've seen a really big difference in how red my face is when I get out of the shower. So if you think about us, if we've got redness, those kinds of things, hot water in the shower is not only going to increase the temperature of your skin, which is going to cause that flushing, but also it's that kind of environment where your skin is prone to losing moisture. That dryness, that irritation is only going to exacerbate the redness. If you get in there first and just put a protective layer of something on, it's going to make a huge difference. In particular, I noticed that makes a difference on when you have your big hair wash, shave your legs, that day that you're in the shower that bit longer, you can't actually believe the difference it makes to have protected your skin and you get out and you're nowhere near as red. So that's a really good one. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, something like CeraVe, the really large, their cleansers, moisturisers, everything is large and really great value, but something like their moisturiser is nice and rich enough to have on your face. And then, just as you get out, you might want to wipe it off with a flannel. I know everyone says don't wash your face in the shower, but to be honest, what I tend to do is just remove that with the flannel and then get out and, do my skincare as usual that evening. And then finally, in terms of locking in that moisture again, what I would say to you if you're like an outdoorsy person, I love going for a walk every day. Bear in mind that the wind isn't necessarily the kindest thing to red skin. So if you can get into the habit, maybe you've got your makeup on and all of that, that's fine. If you don't have and you can afford to put another layer of moisture on, I think it's a really good habit to get into. I personally tend to just put a nice rich layer of cream, a nice rich layer of lip balm, and it makes a difference, in particular to how dry your skin feels. So if you're someone that loves the garden, or if you love going for your walks, just keep in mind that is something that's going to take you 2 seconds, but it can make a huge difference. I really hope that was helpful. And I just want to also mention at the end, you know, if you do have rosacea or redness and you're struggling with it at the moment, please know that there's so much that you can do to reduce it. I think it's one of those things, I definitely know, I speak to people that they say if they find out they have rosacea and they Google it, it's this like doom and gloom set of results. And it's really not like that. I feel like it's just one of those things that once you get used to looking after your skin in this way, it's just going to become second nature. You know, we brush our teeth every day, we shower every day, you wash your hair, I put my contact lenses in, we have a period every month. It's just one of those things that you'll get used to as part of your routine, and it can really, really be managed effectively. So please don't let yourself worry if you haven't taken those further steps. There's so much that can be done to make it better for you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, on Instagram I have an IGTV playlist called Rosacea. There's also some great Q&As with dermatologists on there, and I've got the same on YouTube. So wherever you're watching, do have a deep delve, and I'll definitely do some more rosacea videos as the winter goes on. But thank you for watching, and I'll chat to you soon. Take care.